Imagine it's Monday morning. The weekend is over. You've got a full week ahead, and somewhere in your calendar is a meeting from last Friday that still needs a summary. Someone needs to know what was decided. Someone else needs to know what action items they own. And a third person is waiting to find out if there were any risks or open questions that affect their work. So you sit down, you open up your notes, and you start typing. And 30 minutes later, you've produced a meeting summary that could have taken you less than a minute. Now multiply that by every meeting, every week across your entire team. That's not a productivity problem. That's a solved problem that most small business leaders don't know has already been solved. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Not with expensive software, not with a dedicated IT team, but instead with a free tool that you can set up in the next 30 minutes. This is episode 10 of End Business Tech Frustration, and today we're going to talk about AI agents. What they are, why they matter to your business, and how to build your first one right now. Welcome to End Business Tech Frustration, the podcast for small and mid-sized business leaders and entrepreneurs who are struggling with technology that is not meeting their business needs. I'm Jim Kenyon, and for more than 35 years, I've helped businesses fix their tech, align their people and processes, and implement systems that actually work. In each episode, I break down real stories, practical strategies, and simple frameworks that help you choose the right tools, roll them out the right way, and build a business that runs smoothly. If your technology isn't supporting your business and delivering the results that you need, you're in the right place. Let's get started. If you think back to last week, we talked about getting started with AI. We covered 3 high-impact starting points: writing and communications, meetings, and brainstorming. We walked through the main tools available: ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, and Gemini. And I gave you a 4-step prompting process so that you could start getting results immediately. If you haven't listened to episode 9, I'd encourage you to check it out and get started there. It's the foundation for everything we're doing today. Because today, we're going to go one level deeper. Today, we're going to automate. So before I give you the steps, let me make sure that we're all on the same page about what an AI agent actually is, because the term can sound more complicated than it needs to be. So here's a simple way of thinking about it. Last week you learned to use AI by typing a request. You opened the tool, described what you needed, and you got a result. That's great, and it delivers real value, but every time you use it, you've got to start from scratch. You've got to re-explain the context. You've got to re-describe the format you want to see it in. You're rebuilding the same prompt you built last week. An AI agent eliminates that. It's a custom AI assistant that you've already trained, just once, on exactly how you want a specific task done. Your preferences, your format, your standards, your voice. Think of it this way. If last week's AI use was like hiring a very capable temp who's great at following instructions, an AI agent is like hiring a specialist who already knows your preferences, never forgets your standards, and is available around the clock, and never has a bad day. GPT calls these AI agents custom GPTs. Claude calls them skills. The concept is the same. You configure the assistant once, and then from that point forward, it works exactly the way you need it to, every time, for everyone on your team. And here's what matters most for you as a small business leader. You don't need to write code. You don't need an IT team. You don't need a budget line for a developer. You write plain English instructions, just like you'd write an email to an employee, and the tool does the rest. So, why does this matter for your business? Well, let me be direct. What manual, repetitive work is actually costing you. First, every hour your team spends on repetitive documentation is an hour not spent on customers, revenue, or growth. For a small business, that's not a rounding error. That's a real cost. Second, consistency. When different people produce meeting summaries, proposals, or follow-up emails in different ways, but quality varies. Sometimes it varies dramatically. An AI agent applies the same standards every single time. Third, speed. When a client needs a follow-up email drafted or a meeting summary shared or a proposal started, a well-configured AI agent produces a strong first draft in seconds, not hours, just seconds. Fourth, scale. You build an AI agent once, and then every member of your team gets access to that same consistent, high-quality tool. You don't have to train each person individually. The agent carries that standard. So, this combination of time, consistency, speed, and scale is exactly what a small and mid-sized business needs to stay competitive. Not the budget of a large enterprise, just the right tools set up the right way. Now, before we build an AI agent, let me give you a quick picture of what AI agents can do for a business, just like yours. Because once you see the range, you'll start thinking about your own list. So picture meeting summaries and action items, which is exactly what we're building today. You're going to paste in your notes and get a structured summary with decisions, action items, risks, and recommendations. Another use is email drafts in your voice, where you configure an agent with your tone, your communication style, your common scenarios. You no longer have to start from a blank page. Another use case is proposal first drafts. You'd give the agent a template and a client briefing, and it will return a good working first draft in under 2 minutes. Consistent, professional, and faster than writing from scratch every time. Another use case is job descriptions, structured, one brand, and ready to post. So the use cases are as broad as the repetitive work in your business. And for most small business leaders, there's no shortage of repetitive work. So let's build one right now. I'm going to walk you through building a meeting intelligence agent, a custom GPT that takes your raw meeting notes and produces a structured, actionable summary every time. So specifically, we're going to do 5 things. 1, produce a meeting summary. 2, create a list of key decisions. 3, create a list of actionable items with owners and suggested due dates. 4th, create a list of risks and gaps. And 5th, create a list of recommendations, suggested improvements to avoid confusion or delays. So I picked this use case to start with because the value is immediate, the results are easy to evaluate, and it's an easy to follow example. So the main steps are: Step 1, open ChatGPT and navigate to the custom GPTs. Step 2, name your agent. Step 3, enter your instructions. Step 4, define the conversation starters and capabilities. Step 5, save and test. And Step 6, share it with your team. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see how to do this simple process. And if you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to keep the steps simple, straightforward, so that you can easily follow the process. We're going to navigate to the custom GPT. So within ChatGPT, on the left-hand side, you'll go to GPTs. From that screen, you will then click in the upper right-hand corner, Create, and that opens two panes on your screen, and we're going to select Configure on the left-hand side. So we're going to give it the name, Meeting Agent, and then the description, Summarize and Build Action List. The instructions we're going to copy in. You can access these in the podcast program notes. I'm copying them in from Word and putting them into instructions. Then you can add conversation starters. For example, summarize, meeting, and create action list. You could have multiple prompts, maybe evaluate risks. Then scroll down and you can adjust the capabilities. We're going to remove web search, Canva, but we'll leave the image generation available. Beyond that, to save it, you're just going to, in the upper right-hand corner, click on Create, and then specify anyone with this link and save. So you could then copy the link, and you could share your link, and to access it, just go into your custom GPTs and just click on it to run it. So once you're happy with the output, you can just share it with the rest of your team. So, in closing, here's what I'd like you to do before bed tonight. Open ChatGPT, navigate to the custom GPTs, and create this meeting intelligence assistant using the instructions that I gave you. Then test it with notes from your last meeting. And that's it, 30 minutes. And if you do it, here's what changes. That last 45-minute meeting summary becomes a 2-minute task. Your team gets a consistent, structured output every time, not a different format from a different person. Action items are assigned and dated, risks are surfaced, and recommendations are ready to act on. And here's the other side of that. If you don't do it, nothing changes. The manual work continues, the inconsistency continues, and while you're spending 45 minutes on a meeting summary, a competitor who built the agent 3 months ago is spending 2 minutes. So, in episode 9 last week, I said the fastest way to build an AI strategy is not to plan one. Instead, it's to start one. So this is the next step. Build the agent. Use it. Then build another one. Because here's the truth. After 35 years of watching businesses work with technology, the leaders who win aren't the ones who understood the technology best on day one. They're the ones who started using it and kept going. Thanks for listening to End Business Tech Frustration. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe or follow the show so that you never miss an insight. And if your business is struggling with technology that doesn't support your goals, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear how technology is impacting your business, whether it's good, bad, or just downright painful. Remember, your technology should empower your people, strengthen your processes, and make your business thrive. If it's not doing that, I'm here to help you get your tech right and to get real value from it. See you in the next episode.